Your local detail shop keeps a plain brown bottle tucked in the back, and it costs about $1. That same 3% hydrogen peroxide sitting under your bathroom sink is what a lot of pros quietly reach for to lift blood, kill mold, and erase stains they'll charge you a few $100 to make disappear. Today, I'm handing you 11 of their best-kept peroxide tricks, so grab a bottle and let's turn your driveway into a detail bay. Before we dive in, 2 quick ground rules that'll save your interior. First, you want the ordinary 3% hydrogen peroxide from the drugstore, the exact same stuff you'd dab on a scraped knee. It's strong enough to work, but mild enough to be safe on most surfaces. Second, hydrogen peroxide is a mild bleach. That's the whole reason it works, but it also means you should always test it on a hidden spot first, under a seat, inside a door jamb, before you go spraying it across something you love. Do those 2 things, and you're going to be shocked at what a dollar bottle can do. Number 1. Erase blood stains like they were never there. Let's start with the one that genuinely looks like magic, because this is the trick detailers guard the closest. If you've ever nicked your finger, had a nosebleed, or dealt with a kid's scraped knee in the back seat, you know that blood is one of the most stubborn stains on earth. It soaks in, it dries dark, and most cleaners just smear it around. Hydrogen peroxide doesn't just cover blood, it dismantles it. Blood is loaded with an enzyme called catalase, and the second peroxide touches it. That enzyme triggers a fizzing, foaming reaction that breaks the stain apart at the molecular level. You'll literally watch it bubble up and lift out of the fibers. It's oddly satisfying to see. Here's how to do it. On fresh blood, blot up as much as you can with a dry cloth first. Never rub, because rubbing pushes it deeper. Then apply your 3% peroxide straight onto the spot and let it foam. Give it a couple of minutes, then blot with a clean, damp microfiber towel. For older, set-in stains, you may need to repeat it 2 or 3 times, but it'll keep pulling more out each pass. Detailers charge a premium for biohazard or stain removal on used cars, and this is often the entire secret behind it. Number 2, lift coffee, juice, and food stains from cloth seats. Now let's talk about the stains you actually deal with every single week. The morning coffee that sloshed over a pothole, the kid's fruit punch, the taco that fought back. Cloth seats and carpet drink these spills right up, and once they dry, they set into a permanent-looking shadow. The thing to understand is that hydrogen peroxide doesn't scrub the stain away. It bleaches the color right out of it. Most food and drink stains get their color from organic compounds, and peroxide oxidizes those compounds until they turn clear and invisible. That's why it's so effective on exactly the kind of messes that live in a car. For everyday stains, mix 1 part peroxide with 2 parts water in a spray bottle. Mist the stain. You want it damp, not soaked. Then work it into the fabric with a soft detailing brush so it reaches every fiber. Let it sit and do its thing for 10 to 15 minutes, then blot it out with a dry microfiber towel. That gentle 1 to 2 dilution is your safest everyday mix, and it handles the vast majority of interior stains without you ever touching a bottle of expensive upholstery cleaner. Just remember the spot test, because heavier concentrations can lighten dark or dyed fabric. Number 3, neutralize pet urine stains and the odor with them. If you've got a dog that rides shotgun, or you've ever hauled a nervous cat to the vet, you already know the special nightmare of pet accidents in a car. And here's the cruel part. Even after you clean up the stain, the smell hangs around for weeks. That's because urine leaves behind organic residue deep in the padding, and it keeps releasing odor long after the surface looks dry. This is where peroxide pulls double duty. Because it's an oxidizer, it attacks the organic compounds that cause both the stain and the smell. It's not masking the odor with perfume, it's chemically breaking down the source. That's a completely different level of clean than a scented spray that just hides things for a day. Blot up as much moisture as you possibly can first. Then mix peroxide and water roughly 1 to 1, apply it to the area, and agitate it into the fabric with a brush so it soaks down to where the mess actually lives. Let it work, blot it dry, and make sure the spot fully air dries afterward. Trapped moisture is what invites the smell back. Spot test again here, especially on colored carpet, because this is a stronger mix. Detailers who advertise pet odor removal as a paid add-on are frequently running some version of this exact process. Number 4. Kill mold and mildew colonies. Leave a window cracked in the rain, spring a slow leak from a clogged sunroof drain, or forget a wet gym bag in the trunk, and you've got the perfect recipe for mold. That musty, sour smell is more than gross. Mold spores can genuinely irritate your lungs, your sinuses, and your allergies every time you climb in. Hydrogen peroxide is a proven antifungal. Research has shown it can kill fungi and mold spores by breaking down the proteins and DNA that hold them together. On the hard, non-porous surfaces in your cabin, the dashboard, plastic trim, vinyl, glass, and door panels, it works beautifully. Spray the peroxide directly onto the moldy surface and let it sit until it stops bubbling, usually around 10 minutes. Then scrub with a brush or sponge, wipe it down, and dry it completely. One honest caveat the pros know. On porous stuff like foam padding or badly infested carpet, peroxide kills what it touches on the surface but can't always reach colonies buried deep in the material, and those pieces sometimes have to be replaced. And critically, find and fix whatever let the moisture in first, or the mold just comes right back. One more safety note. Never mix peroxide and vinegar together in the same bottle. Use them separately. Number 5. Disinfect the germ hotspots you touch every day. Think about what your hands touch in your car: the steering wheel, the gear shifter, the turn signal stalk, the radio buttons, the door handle, the seatbelt buckle. Studies have found the average steering wheel can be dirtier than a public toilet seat, and most of us clean it approximately never. Hydrogen peroxide is a genuine hospital-grade disinfectant. It has real antimicrobial power against bacteria, viruses, and fungi, which is exactly why it's been a medicine cabinet staple for a century. And it breaks down into nothing but water and oxygen, so it doesn't leave a chemical film behind on the surfaces your hands live on. To disinfect, lightly dampen a microfiber cloth with 3% peroxide and wipe down every high-touch point. Let it dwell for a few minutes so it has time to actually kill what's there, then buff it dry. A word of care: go easy and always spot test on sensitive finishes, and be cautious around unsealed or delicate leather, since peroxide's mild bleaching action isn't ideal there. But for hard plastics, rubber, and painted trim, it's a fantastic dirt-cheap sanitizer that costs a fraction of the interior sanitizing service a shop will happily sell you. Number 6. Banish baked-in odors like smoke and must. Some smells don't sit on the surface. They move in and unpack. Cigarette smoke is the classic. So is that old car musty funk or the ghost of a spilled milkshake you never fully found. Air fresheners just stack a fake pine smell on top of the bad one, and you end up with pine-scented funk. Peroxide takes a different approach. Instead of masking the odor, it oxidizes the organic molecules that are producing the smell in the first place, break down the source, and there's nothing left to stink. In a smoker's car, it can also help cut through the yellowish tar and nicotine film that coats the fabric and hard surfaces and keeps re-releasing that stale smell. Mix peroxide with water at about 1:1. Lightly mist the fabric surfaces, seats, carpet, headliner if it's color fast, and agitate it in with a brush. Then let the car dry out thoroughly with the windows down or a fan running, because moisture left behind is its own odor problem. As always, spot test first, especially on a headliner, since those are notoriously easy to stain. This deep odor treatment is one of the pricier things a detailer will quote you, and here you're doing the chemistry for pennies. Number 7. De-yellow cloudy, foggy headlights. You've seen those hazy, yellowed headlights that make an otherwise clean car look 20 years old. And worse, they cut down how far your lights actually reach at night, which is a real safety issue. Headlight restoration is a service shops love to upsell. Peroxide can absolutely play a role here, but I'm going to be straight with you about how it really works, because There's a lot of internet nonsense on this one. Plain 3% peroxide rubbed on a lens usually does very little on its own. The trick that people actually get results with uses a stronger salon-grade cream peroxide, the kind used in hair developer, often in the 10 to 12% range, combined with sunlight. The UV in sunlight activates the peroxide and helps it break down the oxidized top layer of the plastic. Folks will clean the lens, brush on the cream peroxide, wrap it in cling film to hold it against the surface, and park the car facing the sun for an hour or two before rinsing. 2 honest truths. First, tape off the paint around the lens because you don't want that cream peroxide sitting on your clear coat. Second, and this is the part nobody tells you, the reason headlights yellow is that the factory UV coating has worn off, so unless you seal the lens with a UV sealant or wax afterward, it'll cloud right back up in a few months. Do it right and seal it, and you've saved yourself a pricey restoration. Number 8, get streak-free interior glass and mirrors. Here's one almost nobody thinks to try. The inside of your windshield builds up a hazy, greasy film over time, a mix of off-gassing from your dashboard plastic, oils from your skin, dust, and if anyone's ever smoked in the car, a nicotine layer on top of all of it. That film is exactly what scatters oncoming headlights into a blinding smear when you drive at night. Glass happens to be one of the surfaces peroxide is completely safe and effective on. It cuts right through that oily organic film without the streaky mess a lot of blue window sprays leave behind, and it disinfects the surface at the same time. Lightly spray a little 3% peroxide onto the glass or onto your cloth, then wipe it down with a clean, dry, microfiber towel, flipping to a dry section as you go to buff it clear. Do your interior mirror and the little glass on your gauge cluster while you're at it. You'll be genuinely surprised how much crud comes off on that first pass and how much clearer your night driving suddenly feels. Number 9, revive grimy, filthy rubber floor mats. Floor mats take the worst of it. Mud, road salt, spilled drinks, whatever's stuck to the bottom of your shoes, it all ends up ground into your mats, and they turn dingy fast. A quick vacuum barely touches the stuff that's really set in. For rubber and all-weather mats, peroxide's oxidizing power helps break down the organic grime, and you can supercharge it into a scrubbing paste. Mix your peroxide with baking soda until you get a thick paste, then work it into the mat with a stiff brush. The baking soda gives you a little gentle abrasion while the peroxide lifts the staining, and together they knock loose stuff that's been baked in for months. Let the paste sit for several minutes, scrub it in circles, then rinse the mats thoroughly with a hose and let them dry fully in the sun. One important note, skip this on light-colored or white wall-style rubber because peroxide's bleaching action can actually yellow certain rubber over time, so keep it to your dark standard mats and spot test if you're ever unsure. Done right, they come back looking honestly close to new. Number 10, deep clean cup holders, vents, and every nasty crevice. Now for the gross little zones that a detailer's price sheet politely calls detailing the crevices and charges you extra for. Cup holders are the worst offender, a swamp of dried soda, coffee rings, sticky spills, and mystery crumbs. Then there are the air vents, the seams around the console, the buttons, all packed with grime your fingers spread around every day. This is where peroxide's combo of grime loosening and disinfecting really shines, because those spots are both sticky and germy. The sticky sugar residue in a cup holder is organic, so peroxide helps break it down instead of just smearing it around, and it sanitizes at the same time. Dip a cotton swab, an old toothbrush, or a soft detailing brush in 3% peroxide and work it into the cup holders, the vent slats, and the tight seams. Let it dwell a minute to break down the sticky stuff, then agitate and wipe clean with a cloth. For vents specifically, a foam craft brush dampened with peroxide slides right between the fins. It's tedious, sure, but that tedious little detail is exactly the part shops mark up the most. And now it costs you nothing but a few minutes. Number 11. Dissolve baked-on bug splatter and grime. Anyone who's taken a summer road trip knows the horror of the front end after a few hundred miles. A graveyard of bugs cemented onto the glass and plastic. Once those splatters bake in the sun, they harden into a crust that laughs at your washer fluid and can be a real pain to scrub off. Bug guts are organic, which means peroxide can help soften and break them down so they wipe away instead of requiring you to scrub like a maniac and risk scratching. The move detailers use is the dwell trick. Instead of scrubbing dry crust, you keep it wet long enough to let the chemistry do the work. Soak a microfiber cloth in 3% peroxide, lay it flat over the buggy section of your windshield or plastic trim, and let it sit for several minutes so the splatter softens up. Then wipe it away with gentle pressure. It works great on glass, plastic trim, and grill areas. One caution worth repeating: be careful about letting peroxide dwell on your clear coat paint. For painted body panels, a dedicated bug and tar remover or a gentle wash is the safer call. Keep the peroxide trick to glass and plastic, and those bug graveyards clean up in a fraction of the effort. So there you have it. 11 ways a $1 bottle of hydrogen peroxide does the work detailers charge hundreds for. Just remember the golden rules. Stick to 3%. Always spot test first, never mix it with other cleaners, and keep it out of direct sun in a dark bottle so it stays strong. Try even a couple of these this weekend, and your wallet will thank you. Thanks for watching. If this saved you some money, smash that like button and share it with a friend who needs it. And subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a trick.